He'd quite like him to be waiting there on his own for as long as he could legally get away with.
Yeah, but he's got to stay close to Max Verstappen. Fair enough they don't have to stay near the safety car, but he's got to stay close to Max. But no, I feel that Max is going to push this on a lot harder on the way to the grid. I think that they need more tyre temp, and they have to work the tyres harder to get that tyre temp than the Mercedes. You can see him, look at him weaving around. Lewis just chilled, look at him.
There he goes. And there's Fernando Alonso, like an overactive bee buzzing around in the background there. He'll be absolutely up for this one. Now don't forget, Max Verstappen's last win, Bahrain this season. Lewis Hamilton's last win, Jeddah 2021. Fernando Alonso's last win, Spain 2013. If he did get victory here today, it would be the longest gap ever between victories in Formula One. 36 career race wins for Max Verstappen. The championship leader was looking an absolute shoey in to be 37 here. Things have changed around. Karun Chand, up to you.
He's been on the radio saying, can the safety car hurry up? As you said, Jensen,
Yeah.
he needs the tyre temp.
It looks like he's slowed it right down purposely to get the safety car as far away as possible so that he can push and get some tyre temp into those tyres.
Don't forget, no DRS available because we've only got 2 laps. You only get the DRS after 2 laps of a race or a race resumption for a standing start. So Red Bull with Checo Perez haven't got the benefit of that DRS. Max Verstappen out in front, if he stays in front, wouldn't get the benefit either way, and those behind him wouldn't be able to try and use it to overtake, and I'm sure there's a few fingernails have been bitten right down here, whoever you're supporting, because there are going to be battles going on absolutely everywhere. For Oscar Piastri, worth a mention that he's currently 11th on the fringes of the points, and this could be his first points in Formula One if he can get into that top 10.
And we know it's not going to be a straightforward 2 laps. When you put 18 hungry F1 drivers at it, they're gonna push the boundaries of what they can do. And yeah, I cannot wait for this 2-lap race.
Yeah, 2009 we started at twilight. You mentioned it, Jensen, at 5 o'clock. It's ticking towards 5 o'clock right now. And the sun is going to be right in the driver's eyes, directly in the driver's eyes as they sit on the grid. Here down at turn 1, the sun is starting to stream into our commentary box as well, but we're not taking our eyes off the screens. And back at home, I would imagine you're doing exactly the same. Hello to you, wherever you're watching in the world. We have sprint races in Formula One. This is the Super Sprint to decide the Grand Prix. Jensen, who's going to get it?
Well, these guys know it's got to be turn 1 or turn 3 that they make the moves happen. It's not going to happen later on, I don't think, because people have been moving around blocking, so I think it's so important who gets through turn 3 first, and I think that is the person that's going to win the race.
So, Max Verstappen slots in to that pole position on the grid as he's watched on from the pit wall. Beside him, Lewis Hamilton on that front row. Fernando Alonso alongside Carlos Sainz, the all-Spanish second row, trying to make a move. Then we've got Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll, Perez and Norris, Hulkenberg and Ocon. That is the top 10. We're all set in a line for the 3rd time this afternoon. 5 lights are on. It's lights out, away we go. Hamilton gets away well. Verstappen comes over to try and cut him off and does so. Verstappen leads. Fernando Alonso tries to go round the outside. Hamilton's in 2nd place and there's contact. Carlos Sainz spins Fernando Alonso around. The 2 Spanish drivers making contact, and there is Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly out of this race too. It's chaos as the straight on goes Lance Stroll into turn 3. Aston Martin have seen their hopes of a double podium or a race win absolutely evaporated. We've got another red flag. That should be the race over now. But Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly took each other out. Oh dear, Aston Martin and Alpine having a nightmare of a resumption here. Verstappen stayed ahead of Hamilton and Sainz in 3rd. Nico Hulkenberg up to 4th. Yuki Tsunoda 5th. Norris, Piastri, Joe, Bottas and Perez will all be scoring points if we don't get a restart here. But that was absolute chaos at the start.
We've lost 6 cars, I think, from the start of that race. Absolute chaos from the start of the restart. But yeah, Do they keep these positions, or is it taken back one
Okay,
lap?
so Silverstone, lap 1. Silverstone, lap 1, they didn't get past a sector. That's why when we restarted, they had to do it in the original grid order. Otmar Safnauer, you've got 2 cars out at the moment. If we don't apply those rules from Silverstone before, we'll come to you in 2 seconds because we just want to see the replay of what happened. Verstappen goes across to cut off Lewis Hamilton. Alonso then thinks, right, there'll be a gap round the outside. Sainz down the inside here. Gasly locks up, just avoids Alonso. Sainz tags his fellow countryman, spins him around. Checo Perez gets avoided, and then we see the two Alpines coming together.
Yeah, it was all caused by the contact between Carlos and Fernando. I don't know where the 2 Alpines got to. Oh, there they are. Oh.
Right, everything was happening at the restart there. We see cars skidding off into the gravel, Perez losing it, and that's the contact with the 2 Alpines. Otmar Safnauer, to you, down on the pit wall, your reaction to what happened to your cars, please.
Yeah, really sad to see, Crofty. We had a really good race going, and I mean it's just chaos at the start like this, and you know it's just a massive gamble with cars going off all over the place and having to avoid them. Yeah, I doubt Pierre even saw Esteban there.
I don't think he did. We've just seen the replay from on board with Esteban. What do you understand to be the rules here? Did we go through one sector before the red flag, and will the FIA have to go back to what was on the grid to determine what the classification is currently?
Yeah, this is deja vu all over again, Crofty. I'm not sure we went through a sector. I don't know. I'll have to ask Alan, the sporting director, what we do next.
Yeah, he's your rules and regulations man, but that was definitely what happened at Silverstone after that lap 1 incident.
I remember.
Yeah, what happens here, I've no idea, but if they did go through a sector, that is a very costly incident, albeit a racing incident between your 2 drivers for your team.
Yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, the positives are Pierre drove a brilliant race, and we had good pace.
Absolutely.
There's another 20 to go.
Absolutely. Otmar, thank you very much indeed for joining us. The restart procedure is under investigation by the stewards, which means they're looking into, did they go through a sector? And if they did go through a sector, that would be the finishing order if we can't finish. And I'm assuming, Jensen, that we wouldn't finish because the lap to the grid would be the final lap of this race, and then it'll be sat on the grid, the lights would go out, and then someone would wave a checkered flag.
Yeah, it's not really the ending we want. So that would mean that Fernando would still be in 3rd place.
If they didn't go through a sector, that's how I would imagine it. I would also imagine that Carlos Sainz might want to keep away from him for a bit.
Yeah.
He's not